It's time to wrap it up. Let's do an RVDology with Mr. Rob Van Dam here.
Yeah, I did. Did an RVDology episode on my YouTube page, which has gotten like a whopping 27 views. So, but the sound was fucked up on it too, so it's probably a pain in the ass to listen to, and most people probably turn it off. But anyway, the gist of that was, and Tim, I probably talked to you sometime over the last 4 years about this scumbag that was trying to shake me down, picked a fight with me, didn't like the results. Finally, ended in a jury trial in my favor just last week. So that's really good news for me. One of the things that I learned a lot. One of the things though that's worth conversation. His lawyer, one, he seemed like a fan, and like he didn't want me to not like him. Want me to like him, but he'd even say in between, he'd be like, like when we're, let's say, commercial break, for lack of a better term, he'd be like, yeah, I'm just doing my job. Don't take it personally. Just doing our job. And I'd be like, yeah, whatever, dude. And then we'd be back on and be like, RVD is a known murderer, terrorist, rapist, and he has anger issues, and he's not cool, and so, yeah, I know, no problem, bro. But he would say, don't take it personal. And it's like, how do you not take that? Because that's how it felt like, the attack, everything that he was accusing me of that I wasn't. And that was exaggerating a little bit there, but you know what? That's one of the 4 agreements. You don't take it personally. And you know what? The more you can really get behind that and feel that, the better off you'll be, like just going about your day. Now, something like this is pretty personal because the guy is legitimately trying to steal my life and take everything from me and basically just move into my life. So that's pretty damn personal, maybe about as personal as it gets. But overall, we take a lot of things personally when we really shouldn't. Sometimes we get in arguments with people and we're so offended that they would say that, or they would do that, or they would believe this other person over you, or not even bother asking you and just assume this. Boom, we cut them off. If you really cared about that relationship, I don't know that you would cut them off. Like, what kind of ego anchor is it that's keeping that gate closed if you wanted it to be open? One of my friends last year, his wife came out to Vegas, and for some reason, we were going to try and get together, me and Katie, with her. Weren't able to do it, whatever reason or whatever. Man, he was so offended, took that so personally, and he was done. He was just like, I can't believe the way you disrespected her when she was out there, and boom, boom, boom. I didn't take that personally. He's telling me all this shit on the phone, and I'm like, I've known this guy too long. I'm gonna go ahead and give him a pass on this, and I did, and that was it. Eventually, he came around, and he's like, "Man, I'm sorry, I was going through this and that." I'm like, "Don't worry about it. Our friendship means more than that." No, not everybody. Some people, they say something, and it's like, they don't get a pass. Sometimes someone will get a pass, but then if they bring it up again later and go back to the exact same thing, well, then it becomes real. Then it wasn't a mistake or an oversight. I've cut off a lot of crazy friends. I say cut off, but let's just say disconnected from. And one of them that comes to mind, this motherfucker, let's say he owed me money. Owed me money, didn't pay money. Much later, a misunderstanding, this and that, blah, blah, blah. But then when we fight, he brings it up again about, boom, I knew back then, boom, boom, boom. Well, I'm done then, because now you either are legitimately pissed about something that is part of me that I'm cool with. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to. That could be anything, or it's just it's just not worth it. But as far as taking things personally, um, in the Four Agreements, if you know what I'm talking about, that's a book, and I bring it up a lot because it's awesome. I also just saw Michael Franzese and Chaz Palminteri. Palminteri. They did an episode talking about it too, so I thought that was really cool. But it's easy to take things personally, but if you try to consciously not let yourself do that because you know that you shouldn't, it's better to just shrug it off. You know what I mean? Like somebody comes zooming by you, your car, you're on the road, they come by you. Maybe they're a little too close to you. They're going too fast. So many people automatically will just take that personally. Like, hey, look at this motherfucker. You know, why is he in such a fucking hurry? And it's like, you know what? They'll take it personally. There's something going on with that guy, and you don't know what it is. Maybe he is in a hurry. Maybe he's got a legitimate excuse. And if he doesn't, that's his risk. What if he did just pass you on the right side in the grass? Why the fuck are you going to be personally offended by that? That motherfucker took the chance. If he hits either a rock or a well or gets pulled over or whatever, that's on him. He took that chance. You know, I feel that way about drivers whenever they zoom by me or whatever. It's like his choice. I could do that if I wanted. I don't get why other people don't, but they take it personally because they feel like, well, I have to stand here and wait in line, so should everybody else. But not really. If there's four lanes, and you can get anywhere that you want to go, you know. So I had a comic book store. Everybody knows this. It wasn't a successful business venture overall. It was something that was introduced to me first, put my name on it, or be a silent investor first, then put my name on it. Then why not get behind it and then really push it, do whatever I can. I had a lot of fun with the store. It was open about 3 years at 2 different locations at different times. And I had a lot of wrestlers help me out. They signed autographs, took pictures at my store, other celebrities too. But as a business owner, I sucked. I never opened the cash register once. I trusted everybody, kids that were working for me to get everything done. I had one guy that managed my store, and this guy ended up becoming a problem. Some of the other employees told me one time that this dude is talking to some of the children they're a little too young. And they mentioned this one girl that used to ride her bike to the store, and they said they caught him getting her phone number. They're weirded out. What should we do about it? So, holy shit. I don't have any experience dealing with any of this shit. You know, don't even have as much life experience back then. This was so long ago. What was this, 2007? Was it before I injured my leg? Sometime around then, I guess, 2004. Anyway, I have the pictures to prove it. All the wrestlers that were there. I get him by himself, and I question him. And he tells me that he actually needs me to know that I might be notified he's in a little trouble. It has something to do with some stuff that was found on his computer. I dive into the conversation a little further. This motherfucker starts telling me about some of his issues. You guessed it. He's into children running my store. You don't know what's going on with other people. You really don't. And I wouldn't have had a clue. Now, he told me that it was all in his head. He wanted to get help. He said he hadn't touched or gotten with anyone underage. And of course, boom, automatically you're gone. I couldn't just leave it at that. I had to follow up. I felt like I gotta get this guy, Hub. What am I doing? Letting this guy out on the streets? He's gonna, you know what he's gonna do. And I kept checking back with him for the longest time. And he was telling me there's help for the abused, not for the potential abuser. He said it was like so hard to find anyone. And I remember looking, it was a really weird and dark time. But as I shared the story with a few people, some people told me I'd bust that motherfucker right in his mouth. I would have beat the shit out of him. Now, how do they take that personally? What's going on in this dude's mind? I wonder how some of you feel about that. But when you think about it, it doesn't make sense. It didn't to me. I didn't take it personally. I mean, listen, this guy's representing me and my name. That is very much a potential problem. I can take that personally, but I believed him that at that point that we got it fixed before it became an issue. Again, if anyone, maybe me, but for other people just to hear it, they get offended. They take it personally. It's one of those crimes, even worse than you never hit a woman no matter what, or there's never a good reason or whatever. This is one of the ones where people want to kill pedophiles. And now maybe he is. I don't know. I haven't talked to him in years. I don't want to. Am I obligated to? Fuck no. But that whole experience, like, I started talking. I told a few more people than I should have, probably. He should have taken that personally, I guess. Or maybe realized where the problem really lies and try and find it at the source. But remember this, dude. I didn't take it personally. I don't think I should have. Do you? I mean, this guy's telling me, like, boom, he's leaving, he's quitting, handing over his keys, saying, I got a problem that's progressing just from watching it. I'm so glad that that my wires aren't twisted and fucked up in such a way. As judgmental as that sounds, if you don't agree with me, you're going to be judged against too. That's pretty crazy, huh? You think we all know right from wrong? He seemed to know what he was doing was wrong, and that meant a lot. His future, whatever he does and chooses the rest of his life, I don't take that personally as if any of that is on me just because I knew this little thing about him. A lot of people would react differently, but keep in mind, like a lot of times, if instead of taking it personally, if you think it's the other person, some drunk guy screams at you on the sidewalk, "Hey, motherfucker!" You know what? You could be offended, like he said some shit to me, or you could just be like, you know what? There's something wrong with that guy. Go with the second, and a lot of times in life you can do that just to try and apply that. If I didn't take this personally, it's on him. You don't know what someone else is going through. You really don't. And even if you think you do, you only know part of it. So that's what I want to leave you with. Try and keep that in mind. Just like always, don't freak out about reprogramming yourself. If you're just aware of it and you just think towards it, recognize it, boom, it'll become bigger in your life. Don't take it personally. See you next week.
You can't take it personally.
Pretty heavy story to
very heavy. What a way to close it out. Holy smokes.